A compound linear inequality can be formed by joining two inequalities together by using either and or. In this video, we're going to go over and. Another way to say and is intersection, that is often used with this symbol here representing intersection. It's like an upside down U. Simply, both just mean what numbers makes both inequalities true. Again, if you multiply or divide by a negative, you have to change the direction of the inequality sign. So, we're going to solve each inequality and we're going to express it in interval notation and we're going to graph it. So first we have 6x minus 2 is less than or equal to 10 and 10x is greater than negative 20. So we're going to solve both of those individually. So I'm going to start with the first one. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Get 6x is less than or equal to 12. Divide by 6. And I'm going to get x is less than or equal to 2. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to divide by 10 on both sides. And x is going to be greater than negative 2. Now I divided by a positive, which is fine, even though this is negative. So remember, only dividing by a negative do you flip the sign. So what is my answer in interval notation and graphically? Well, I'm looking at this and can be a little bit weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to graph it first, just so I can get a better visual of it. So line, negative 2, positive 2. And so I look at negative 2, and it has to be everything more than negative 2. And since it's not equal to, it's going to be a parentheses going in this direction here. So actually just fill it out all the way, going in this direction. Now, x is less than or equal to 2, which since it's a equal to, we're going to use a bracket, and it's going to be going everything to the left. So everything in this direction going that way. Now, our answer has to be where the lines overlap. And the lines overlap between the parentheses and the bracket, like so. Which means in interval notation, we're going to go from negative 2 to positive 2, negative 2 getting a bracket, or negative 2 getting a parentheses, and positive 2 getting a bracket. And that's how you would solve this inequality. Next, negative 4x minus 1 is less than 3, and negative x minus 2 is greater than 3. So solve each one individually. So plus 1, negative 4 is less than 4. Negative 4x, excuse me, is less than 4. Divide by negative 4 on both sides. X is going to be greater than, because it's a negative 4 we divided by, negative 1, so it's flipped. Same thing here. Add 2 to both sides. Negative x is greater than 5. Divide by negative 1. And so x is going to be less than negative 5. And so again, kind of weird to see, so let me just draw it out. Negative 5, and then negative 1. And so everything has to be less than negative 5, so negative 5 and to the left. So it's going to be a parentheses because it's not equal to, going that way. And then negative 1 has to be greater than it, again parentheses, going to the right. Now nowhere does the lines overlap. And since it does not overlap, there is no way for there to be a graph of this, because it's an and compound inequality. So we can say that this is the empty set, or we can even do this to represent the empty set. Either way, there is no answer for this compound inequality. Now we can take a compound inequality, instead of having two separate inequalities, we can do one bigger inequality, in which case we want to take everything from the center and move it out to the sides. So just like with before, I'm going to solve everything from the center out. So take the 6, I'm going to add it to everything. So I'm going to get 6 is less than or equal to 2x less than or equal to 10. And then divide everything by 2. And I'm going to get 3 is less than or equal to x less than or equal to 5. Now the nice thing about this kind of inequality notation, it's very easy to graph. We can just say that our x value has to be between 3 and 5, so 3 and 5. And since both are equal to, both get a bracket with a line connecting them. Which again makes interval notation easy. 3 to 5, and they both get brackets. And that's all you do for that. So let's do it one more time for this. Negative 3 is less than 3 minus 2x less than 9. I'm going to get 3 out from the center. So negative 3 minus 3 is going to be negative 6 less than negative 2x less than 6. Then I'm going to divide everything by a negative 2. I'm going to cancel out the center, so I'm going to get positive 3. And even though this is a bigger compound inequality, the sign still flips when I divide by a negative, like so. Now it's kind of weird this way, so I like to rewrite it a little bit different. I'm going to take my smaller number, negative 3, and write it first. And since this inequality sign is pointing to negative 3, I'm going to make sure my inequality sign stays pointing at negative 3 as I rewrite everything. And so this is preferred because I think it's a little bit easier to see. So graphically, negative 3 to positive 3, parentheses, because there's no equal to sign between either of them, connecting the two. And so my interval notation will be negative 3 to positive 3, like so.